Welcome back to this market special on verdict day. It's a historic verdict, as we have been saying for the past many hours now, ever since the NDA stormed past the 300 mark and then the 350 mark. But what does it mean for markets? The markets rose up to 12,000 on the Nifty and 40,000 on the Sensex, but gave up more than their gains, considering that there is man's work to do. And markets are already expensive, as our experts have been telling us. Sanjay Dutt, Gautam Trivedi, Sunil Singhania are still with us to help us understand how investors should negotiate the markets from here on. Gautam, what's the sense now? Better to stay in a liquid fund or or a bank FD and then put in money slowly?
Yeah, I think the confidence level within the entire debt system, especially as Sunil said, debt mutual funds is completely shaken up. I know friends in particular and some family members who've been impacted significantly as a result. So I think at this point, if you have risk averseness, FDs would be significantly safer than debt mutual funds until, of course, liquidity returns back into the system, which is going to take a while, as we were discussing. So I think, yes, I would do that. And equity, as I said, today we're not comfortable putting incrementally more money today in the market.
Okay. Sanjay, your final advice to the retail investor?
I'm very clear, Lata. Good times are just starting. A lot of pain is been done with in the last 5 years. The rally ahead would be broad-based and would not be concentrated in Nifty or those 10-odd stocks which have, on a daily basis, we watch taking the Nifty up or down. So therefore, go to select mid caps across sectors. There are very attractive opportunities. And one of the contrarian bets which I have in mind, which has given a negative return of 5% over the last 5 or 7 years, has been PSU banks. So I would frankly look for a good, top-notch PSU bank which has cleaned up its books and would buy that, because risk reward is very favorable at this point of time. If you're all betting on government doing the right things, recapitalizing, bringing more liquidity, etc., I think this whole show cannot run on those 4 private sector banks for the entire corporate sector in India.
Sunil, specifically, you already told us what you like. Is there going to be a sector which is going to be a direct beneficiary of NDA 2.0? I mean, going back to 2014, we had several sectors run up because of what we thought the government may do, focus on, spend on, etc. Is there anything you see which can be the next big focus in an organized way?
So I think as investors, we are better placed this time. Last time it was the first term, and obviously the hope trade was very, very high, and a lot of people and investors, including us, speculated on the likelihood of what is going to happen. Now we have some kind of clarity over the last 5 years about the style of working as well as the focus area. So looking at that and looking also at the fact that towards the end of the first 5-year term, there was this major thrust on all the infrastructure projects getting off ground. You have seen like airports, you had 75 airports in the first 70 years of independence. Now they're talking about 75 in the next 5 years. Or metro, you have almost 50 cities, where metro work is either going on or is in advanced stages of planning. So these would definitely be sectors. I mentioned to you earlier, housing is going to be a big thrust. There is already housing for all by 2022, which the government has announced. Mr. Gadkari has started talking about linking of rivers towards the end of the first 5-year term. And knowing him and knowing his capability of execution, that can again be one big thrust area. I think more importantly, the labor laws, which have just been kept at the side by government after government, I hope this government takes it up in the first couple of years, of that. And we have a huge opportunity to be a little bit of a manufacturing kind of a hub because of this US and China trade issues. And if we are able to bring this labor laws forward, take it forward to a little bit more pragmatic kind of a system, this thrust on Make in India and manufacturing can be the big thing to look forward to.
That's a great wrap of what the government can do, perhaps, as some of them even low-hanging fruits. Thank you very much, Sunil, Sanjay and Gautam, for staying with us. Big advice coming from our panel of experts, infrastructure, those working in metro, those working in affordable housing, cement, for instance.
To figure out which are the beneficiaries and, the companies.
Absolutely. But PSU Banks is a clear, those that have cleaned their books, and Gautam Trivedi advising that these are not the right levels. Stay in fixed income or liquid funds and put in when the valuations are more attractive. Thank you very much for joining us in this special markets session.